Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Art 387, Contemporary Visual Arts and Culture, and welcome to 2017. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season and feel well rested and ready to move forward in the new year in 2017. I like to give a little introduction to who I am before we go into the class. That way you can put a face with the name and the voice. So my name's Emily Boss. I was born and raised in Southern California. So here's myself and my husband, Johnny, and we were getting our Christmas tree this year. I, again, grew up in Orange County in the city of Orange, went to Villa Park High School. I then went to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising, where I did a degree in interior design, and that's something that I still work in today. After that, I decided I wanted to continue my education, and I received a bachelor's from Cal State Fullerton in art history. When I was in design school, I really fell in love when we were studying furniture design and architectural design and all the history of that, and that's what made me realize how much I loved art history and kind of sparked a new interest in me. So I did my undergraduate there, and then after Johnny and I were married, we moved to England, where I did my master's degree at the University of Nottingham in art history as well, and my focus was in modern and contemporary art, so really 20th century art is where I like to focus a lot of my own study. So this is a class that I developed for Cal Baptist going on 4.5 years ago. I've been teaching for Cal Baptist for about 4.5 years, actually close to 5 years. March will be my 5th anniversary with Cal Baptist. Great university. I love teaching here. I do all the online classes because I live in Tennessee. So my husband and I moved in June of 2014 to Nashville, and we love it out here. I've got snow on the ground right now in my front yard as I'm looking out my window. So keep that in mind when you're contacting me, that I am in another part of the country, and I'll talk a little more about that in a while. But so I've developed the Art 387 class. I developed the basic drawing class for the online program, and I also developed the current version of the Art 202 class, or 202 or 204. I'm getting them mixed up. Whatever the art appreciation class is. So the three online classes that are in the visual arts, you can blame me for those. But art has always been a big passion of mine. I love teaching this class because it really gets students to get outside the box a little bit and start thinking about where their opinions come from and where art comes from and how we can look at it and analyze it, and that there are, in fact, some concrete tools that you can use when you're walking through analyzing a work of art, that it's not just looking at it, I think it's pretty, move on. Okay, so we're gonna do all of that in this course. So each week I will be recording a video introduction. This one is just an introduction overall to the course, and then I'll ask you to go ahead and jump into week 1, and we'll have a separate introduction into week 1. So if you're new to Blackboard, this is what it looks like. Mine may look slightly different than yours as an instructor as we move along, so just make sure you're aware of those little differences. But if we go ahead and hit the syllabus here, and I'm not going to go over this in a ton of detail. I will read the course description real quick. So we are a study of the causes and effects of the proliferation, or basically how much art gets out there, of new media in 21st century Western society. We know that our culture is inundated with the visual. We're all about the visual. So this class is going to explore postmodern theory, and I know that seems like a big scary thing, but we'll break it down and we'll make it easy, and a tactile or hands-on approach to the elements that make up the visual world. So we're going to explore everything from advertising, television, film, digital image making, arts and crafts, social media, in both public and private spaces. So we're going to consider the roles of consumers, which we all are, creators, which we definitely can be, and critics, which we definitely all are, and especially in this class, of visual culture. And we're going to also engage with the Christian worldview of these cultural practices. Okay, so then it's going to go on and it's going to talk about all that good stuff. Here's my information. Here is my personal number, so please use with discretion. And again, I'm in Central Time, so I'm 2 hours ahead of you. So if you think you're giving me a call at 7 p.m., it's 9 p.m. my time, so just remember that. You are welcome to call or text me, but I will tell you that usually email is the best way to get a hold of me, and my email address is listed here. Now, hopefully you saw the announcement I sent out about the tech issues that I've been having. For some reason, my email has been out of commission lately, and I've been working with tech support to get it done. It has to do with when we switched over to the Office 365. I don't know if they did that for students as well, but something went screwy with mine and nothing I can fix and change on my end. So I've had to be at the mercy of the IT department during the holidays to get this taken care of. So they're supposed to get back to me today or tomorrow. If you need to contact me within the next couple of days I'll send out an announcement that says that my email is back up and working. But you can go ahead and text me, or you can also write in the discussion board that I set up a discussion board for questions about the course. Since I am not there on campus, I don't have office hours, but we're always, we can set up a time to talk either online via Skype or FaceTime, or we can just set up a time for a phone call as well. Okay, this is going to be your textbooks. Hopefully you have these already. So we have a book called Looking at Art, which I also use in the art appreciation class. This book I use here because there's no prereqs for this course. And so I have to expect that you know nothing about art, and yet we're almost a 400 level class. So we're upper division, and we dig in a little deeper. So this Looking at Art text is going to give you kind of that basic background and vocabulary. And then when we dig into visual culture, it's a more in-depth text. It can be challenging at times, but I don't want you to be afraid of it. I want you to go for it, and I want you to ask questions. If there are pages that you're just not understanding the concepts, send me a quick email. Hey, Professor Boss, I'm not getting what's going on page 150. Can you hash this out with me a little bit? I love when students do that. So don't be afraid of things that are challenging. We're also going to be reading an essay from Francis Schaeffer in his text Art in the Bible. It's a couple of essays, and we're just going to be reading the first one. And then we also have a web link, and this is probably going to be the hardest thing you read all session. And it's by a postmodern theorist named Michel Foucault, and it's all about this idea of heterotopias. But we'll walk through that together, and it's actually a really interesting read and some very interesting theories on visual space. So I'll let you go through the rest of this. This is going to be just an assignment overview of what we have going on. And this shouldn't change too much, but it is likely to change a little bit here and there. I'll let you read through all of that just so this announcement isn't overly long. We do have a little review quiz each week that will cover concepts from lectures or from your reading. This is going to be how the points are broken down, and the only reason this will change is if sometimes I might take an assignment out here or there, and sometimes I might change something to extra credit. So just be aware of that. We do plus minus grading. Be sure to check your grades regularly. There is a course schedule here, and know that it's better if you just go in each week to the learning activities and look at the agenda for the week, because this should be pretty accurate, but it's liable to change slightly as the course goes on. Notice that everything is due day 7. That is on Sundays. Our classes start on Monday. Monday is day 1, and Sunday is day 7. So your work is always due on Sunday nights at midnight, with the exception of the last week of class. And actually, I always end up changing this to day 5. So your capstone project and your final reflection and your final quiz are usually due on that Friday, and that's because it gives me a little bit of time to get them graded before, as instructors, we have to submit final grades on that Monday. Okay, it's going to go over professionalism, all this good stuff. I do my very best to get back to you within 24 hours. If for some reason I don't respond to an email, phone call, or text, it's just because it fell through the cracks. I somehow missed it. I'm human. Just send me a quick follow-up and say, hey, did you get my email? I'm just waiting for a response from you. And I'll know that I missed it. Late assignments. So there is 10% deduction from the total point value for each day an assignment is late. And I will stick to this unless you contact me, because I know life happens, and I'm usually more than willing to grant extensions if you let me know ahead of time what's going on in your life. So, you know, your kid is throwing up, you got in a car accident, you've got a crazy, you know, day at work with deadlines you have to meet. I get it. But what I don't like is when students 2 days after an assignment is due say, hey, I couldn't get this done in time. And then I'm going to say, well, you know, I'm sorry, but the late penalty is going to apply because now I have to find new time in my schedule to grade this work. So it's considerate to consider my time. I have many, I wear many hats in my life, and I have many jobs that I do, and I have specific times that I sit down to grade your work and to work on this class. And I know that you do the same. So just talk to me and let me know, and that way I can plan ahead and know that, you know, okay, I'm going to have a little more time this week on this specific night to do a little more grading. And plus, it keeps you accountable and it keeps you on top of your work. Also, what I don't like is when students submit work that is half done and they didn't tell me that they were struggling on an assignment. And I'll usually say that in your feedback. If you would have told me you were struggling and contacted me, we probably could have worked out a new deadline without a late penalty and without, you know, any kind of point deduction for the work being half done. Okay, it's going to talk about etiquette, academic honesty. Don't plagiarize because I will catch you. I run a lot of your assignments through Safe Assign, so we don't need to talk about that too much. But just know that, you know, cite your sources, all that good stuff. You should be very familiar with how to do that by now. And if you are not, we jump into learning activities. I have this little presentation called Writing Styles that I would like you to watch. And then I have a MLA quick guide and an APA style guide here for you to refer to when it comes to citing your sources and doing in-text citations. I don't care which one of these you use, if you use MLA or APA. Just in any given assignment, make sure that you're consistent throughout. Don't jump back and forth between styles or just not even have a style. So make sure that you follow one of these guides. MLA is usually what we use in the humanities more, but I know a lot of you are familiar with APA, and that's why I don't really mind which one you use. Okay, that is a basic overview of the course. If you have any questions just about the course in general, don't hesitate to ask, but what I'm going to ask you to do now is jump over to week 1, what is art, what is visual culture, and I will have an announcement there for you as well. Welcome to the class, everyone.